faster. And then he went to the T300 like myself. So I wouldn't recommend the T80 or the T100. If you can afford it, go for the T300. I know a lot of people like the Logitech G27s, and for them initially on the PS4 they're not compatible, although I do know you can get adapters now from the United States to make them work. I've never got my hands on one and tried one, and most people I know that use Logitechs on the PS3 decided they weren't going to wait for the adapter. They're just going to move over to Thrustmaster. Oh, on the curb under the brakes then. But I mean, this whole thing that I'm doing here is very interesting, because when I raced this track, 2 nights ago, I couldn't do a single lap without going very, very slow. I keep lifting off there. Do not lift off, Dave. Just keep it floored. Yeah, I could not do a lap without spinning turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, pretty much everywhere because of the downshifts. I mean, this final sector, I had to do it so slow, it didn't feel like I was driving an F1 car. But with these elongated gears, it's a whole different ballgame. If I could just get that bloody left kink right. The thing is, I know what I'm doing wrong, I just keep repeating myself there. Also, my driving is not going to be great because, as I said earlier on, it's probably now about 5:30 in the morning here. I have been up all night, and the reason I'm on is because of a terrible toothache. I'm on extremely strong painkillers, which kind of woke me up and made me want to do something. So I figured, right, let's go and work out how to make second gear not so horrible in the Formula A. Now I suppose the biggest proof of it would perhaps be to take the car to Monaco. I'm not sure about doing that because I did a race there about a week ago, and I don't know whether it was a lag spike that caused the wheel to not work properly or what, but I think for the first time in my life I got lapped at Monaco, although we did have pad users in there using assists, and this car is much more drivable with assists on. Okay, we're going to go for one more lap. This will be the last one around this track. Still struggling a bit with the brakes, but the turning is much better. I also keep forgetting that I can use DRS anywhere, having played F1 2014 for so long. I'm used to being limited on where you can use it. I was having to stop it from spinning on me again. I very nearly did the same thing. And at the end of the day, you can play about with the setups all you like, but if you do a bit of dodgy driving, that can cause the car to spin just as much as anything else. So there we go anyway. Not the greatest of lap times, but I have got a lot of fuel on board. I have got a flat spotted tyre, and I have been awake all night. Okay, so the question now is, do I go to a fourth track and try and prove the theory add another track, or do I just go and do something else? Do I just go and have some fun somewhere? I mean, I could try, I don't know. I don't know if any of you are interested, but on my YouTube channel I'm currently trying to do a bit of a time trial challenge. I started it the other day excuse me, and the time trial challenge was basically I give myself no more than 10 laps at Donington Park in each class of car, trying to get to the top of the timing screens. Now, I will admit it did not go brilliantly well, and the video is split into two because for some reason Twitch crashed at the time. But doing it, I did find something very interesting about assists, which was, I mean, I like to think I'm a fairly decent driver. I'm not the fastest out there, I'm not the best out there, and I've never claimed to be, but I will admit to being fairly decent. I like to think I know what I'm doing when it comes to a car, and I like to think I can be fairly quick, although I do go slow when I talk while I'm driving. So when I jumped into time trial, into the road cars, into the Gumpert, which I was told was a brilliant car by a friend of mine, also on a T300 wheel, I jumped in that car and it handled absolutely horribly. It was terrible. It was worse than the Formula A. So I was sat there thinking, well, hang on a minute. How can this car be handling so badly when a friend of mine, who, no offence to him, is not as quick, is saying it handles amazing? And it turned out it was down to the assists. Now you may see on the timing screen here, I'm second on the list. I didn't do that on my challenge video. I've done a secondary video for that, because basically what I did, get myself 10 laps at each track, sorry, in each class of car. Road car. I did go for the touring cars, but I haven't got the Mercedes AMG C Coupe DTM, because I believe that is a limited edition car and I haven't got that, so I've got no hope in hell of getting anywhere near those times, unless one of the other cars is potentially as quick, but I don't think it is. So yeah, give myself 10 laps at each track to see how I got on. But the Gumpert was so bad, I really didn't put a very good lap time in. So I decided, okay, at a later stage, I will go and put more laps in, and I'll start off with the road car, and I'll put up my better laps. Excuse me. So yesterday, I went in the Ariel Atom. I did a handful of laps with the assists off, and I got into the 129s, which was about 3-4 seconds faster than what I got a few days ago in the Gumpert, and also the Ariel Atom, which I tried then as well. I then put the assists on, ABS, traction control, stability control, and within 15 laps, 127.8. Now, it wasn't the greatest of laps, and that lap is actually now on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go and watch that, you can, and you'll see, I can see where there is time to gain. So I reckon I can top that if I can put a decent lap in. Now, I'm not a guy that likes using assists, so for me it's very, very annoying that for me to have any chance of topping that timing screen, I've got to put the assists on, because I don't want them. I don't want to have to rely on ABS, on traction control, on anti-spin mechanisms. I want to be able to control the car. I tell you what, we'll go and have a quick blast. I mean, you can see there I have done a 127.8. so just to confirm, I'll go into options. You see I've got no assists on whatsoever, none at all. So we will go in the Ariel Atom 500 V8. It doesn't really matter which livery we use, I suppose. So no assists on. Okay, yes, I'm tired, I've been awake all night and all that lot. But I'd like to think, well, if I'm any good, I can get up close to that lap time. But you'll see what the car's going to handle like. And I know what it's going to handle like. Now for career mode or online play, for career mode or online play, it may be able to adjust the setup similar to what I've done with the Formula A. Make first and second gear a little bit longer perhaps, adjust brake pressures, cambers, mechanical grip. But in time trial, we can't adjust any of it. You have to drive it as it is. Now this view is not the view I would usually use, but I am just going to leave it on this view for a couple of laps, just so that you can see the steering input that I'll be having to do. It may take for me to focus quite a bit to actually get a lap done, because this car is so tricky. Sliding, but it's not that wasn't a controllable slide that I feel I can power through. Locking up, and I'm not using heavy brakes. I'm not heavy on the brake pedal, which is causing it to lock up. I'm gentle on the pedal, and it's locking up anyway. I'm not being too aggressive on the downshifts yet either. I'm trying to drive it how I managed to put my hot lap in, just to see if I can sort of get close and match the time. It's washing out wide. I need to get off the throttle. So now, ideally I'd prefer to brake harder into that corner, but I know if I do, it's going to lock up and do this. And that's what I was trying to avoid. Okay, so now on this next lap, I'm going to try and not push it over the limit. I'm not going to try and drive stupidly. I'm just going to try and drive a quick lap. That obviously wasn't part of the plans, but the rear's lock up, kicked out. And again, the rear's going. That's just from a gentle tap of the brakes. At the end of the day, if you can't even apply a little bit of brakes without the car trying to spin out on you, then you're never going to be able to be quick. Now, like I say, in the one player, career mode or online, yes, you could adjust the settings, reduce the brake pressure, does help a lot. Lengthen the gears, as we find out, that will help. But then it may still not be as quick as if you just whacked the assists on.